What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So you've probably seen some Instagram posts either on my Dylan Talks Tone Instagram or Facebook posts or whatever that I got one of these cold brew coffee towers, and a bunch of people have been asking me how it works and what it's all about, because it does not make drugs. Just saying, it doesn't. It makes coffee. And so I'm going to just run you through the process to get you to this point right here where we have 8 cups of iced coffee. That will then go into the fridge, and I'll drink it over the next few days, and when it gets empty, we'll drink it again, or make it again. So I'll just run you through step by step how it works, and then I'll leave a link to it in the description, because if you want to try it, it's pretty cool. All right, so this thing might look a little intimidating, but the basic concept is you put ice and water in the top up here, you put grounds right here, and then the coffee comes out through that tube into here. So let's go ahead and let's get a pot of coffee started, shall we? First things first, we need to get ourselves some coffee, and so this Sete 270 is my espresso grinder. This is our drip coffee grinder, and I've found that the grind that I'm using for the Chemex actually works pretty well for the cold brew. So we'll go ahead and get except exactly twice as much. So I just hit this button twice. Because with this grinder, you can adjust the grind size, you can adjust the time that it takes to grind, and this particular setting here, which works perfectly when I hit the button once for the Chemex, as long as I hit it twice, is the perfect thing for the cold brew. So let's go ahead and get that into the cold brew. So like we said, the coffee goes in here, and you just carefully lift this out, and this is where the coffee grounds go. There's a ceramic filter that goes in the bottom. Put it in the bottom like that, and then you put the coffee in it. Now I do this over the sink because it can get a little messy. I just take this cup so it keeps it straight up and down, and I just pour the grounds in there. I just don't want to pour grounds everywhere, so we just get them in there. And yeah, I spill some. So then it's very, very important. I like to clean up this top edge of the static grounds. And it's very important to get this as level as possible. So just tap it and clean it up, because what you don't want is the water to drip down from the top and run over to one side. So you just kind of tap it, get it as even as possible. I take an AeroPress filter, pre-wet it, and set it on top so it looks like so. And then we take this and we come over here and we set it in there, and that little nipple on the bottom goes into the glass coily thing, and it sits in there like that, and all the grounds are ready. And then let's not forget to take the lid off of our carafe, put him straight underneath there like so. Now we need to talk about water. Okay, so this is a 2-cup measure, which is 200 milliliters. Well, 500 milliliters. And so what I typically do is I fill this up with ice twice and put it in there. Oh, come on. There you go. Get in there. Something like that. Now, the amount of ice has to do with the temperature in your room and the shape of your ice and all that kind of stuff. You might want to play with that a little bit. And then We add 500 milliliters of water. And it should fill it pretty much all the way to the top. Just about perfect. Yep. And like I said, depending on the shape of your ice, the size of your ice, the temperature in your room, you might need to mess with that just a little bit. So now we are ready to make coffee. So the next thing we need to do is turn this little valve until we get about, I like to get a drip about every second and a half, or second to second and a half. I've messed with this a little bit. Oh, too fast, too fast. Still too fast. We'll go with that. That looks pretty good. Right about there. Now, a couple notes. As everything gets colder, the brass gets colder, the tolerance gets tighter, and you have to adjust this. So come and check this about every 45 minutes to an hour or so for the first 2 hours or so, and to make sure that it doesn't slow down to a super slow drip. If you don't saturate this top filter, it will take forever for it to start coming through the grounds. And because you lose a little bit of water volume in the grounds, when it gets about halfway done, I add 200 more milliliters of water, and that gets me a yield in about 5 hours of exactly my 8 cups right there, which is 1,000 milliliters of water. So we'll come back in a few minutes when this starts making it through the grounds, and I'll show you what it looks like when it starts making its way all the way to the bottom. All right, so it's been about 45 minutes. We've got coffee coming out. You can see it making its way down, the little coily coil dude right there. See him making its way, but what we've got here is we've got it slowed down a little bit because everything got colder. So it's literally just a little pressure touch on this valve. If you twist it, it will, see, I barely touched it, and now we're faster. Cool. Give it another hour, come back by and check it again, but we can see it making its way down and then making its way down to here. We look at our water level up here and we see it's good. When it gets kind of like below the wood right here, then I'll go ahead and add another 200 mil of water. And there we go. We are done. It has taken, about 4.5 hours. When it gets to the yield that you want, which is right about the 8 cup mark, which is what I like to see, I just come up here, close the valve, and then I will go ahead and just clean all of this. Basically, I don't want to take this out from underneath here yet because there's probably still some dripping down through, but I would just disassemble it and rinse it all out. This is not hard to clean. You just rinse it. So it takes about 5 minutes to clean everything up and rinse everything. And then this little cap goes in the top of here, and you can just put that in the refrigerator just like that. And boom, you have iced coffee available. So there you go. The slowest pot of coffee ever made. Well, it's not the slowest because they make a bigger one of these that actually takes like 12 hours. But I think it's pretty awesome. Like I said, I just throw this in the fridge. I got a little carafe that I put it in the fridge, and I'll drink it over the next 3 or 4 days. And yeah, it's a sweet afternoon coffee. The taste, so just to give you an idea, the taste with this recipe, it's interesting because it's not like a hot coffee. Think iced tea, that kind of mildness, but then coffee flavored. It's really interesting. It's different than just drinking a regular hot coffee and letting it get cold. It's not the same. It's a different consistency, different strength, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, there it is. I'll leave a link to it in the description. If you have any questions about it, put them in the comments. And we'll see you in the next video. Do me a favor and hit the like button and the subscribe button. I've got more coffee stuff coming because there is more coffee stuff to talk about right over there. So we'll see you in the next video.